there's something called a sequence. When we look at stories, when we're reading, the sentences that we read happen in an order or a sequence, right? Okay, if they don't, then it doesn't make any sense. What you're reading is big jumbled up, and you would not be able to understand it, right? So we're going to look at this that you just read, the story, The Lost Dog, and we're going to look at putting the events in the story that happened in order. Okay, something that the very beginning thing, can you think of the word that tells me for the very beginning thing, starts with an F?
Frog.
Just a word, not second, but first. Okay, so the first thing in a sequence is obviously what happens in the number one spot. Okay, then you have the events in the middle of your sequence,
Number two.
and then in this case we only have three, but our third one would be, what's the name for the very last? Yes, so you're putting in sequence from first to last. Beginning to end. There are numerous words we could call it, but we're going to go with first to last for this, okay? First and next and then last. Alright, so look at your reader there, the story that we just read. We are going to talk only about the dog. Alright, so glance back over that story and see if you can give me the sentence that tells the first thing that happens to that dog.
Write down.
Tell me what you're going to write first. Let's see if we agree.
Bob lost their dog.
Did that happen to the dog or did that happen to Bob?
Oh, the dog. The Bob.
Bob's the owner, right? Alright, so yes, Bob lost his dog, but then what's the first thing that happened to the dog? Tell me, what sentence?
The dog was the dog had hid in the big box.
Okay, so don't guess at your words. Be sure you know them. Okay, alright. Alright, so it's sentence number 2. You got it. So go ahead and write that in your first box for sequencing. Read that back to me when you finish.
The dog hid in a big box.
Alright, very good. Alright. What do you think is the next thing that happened to that dog? The dog, remember. What happened to next?
The dog was sad. Oh, the dog bit the gap.
Alright, let's go with that one.
The second one?
The dog bit the gap. Now, if you just had that sentence, the second one just by itself, and we weren't even talking about sequence, you look at me a little strange because I say, hey, guess what? The dog bit the gap. And you looking at me like, what does that mean? Right? Okay. we had this discussion a few minutes ago. I was trying to teach you what a gap is, and we learned that the gap is in the box. Okay. But out of sequence, this sentence really has no meaning. Okay. Meaning, it leaves you wondering what's going to happen next. Okay. So we already know from our first sentence of the sequence that the dog is hiding in a big box. That would mean that the gap is in the
big box.
Okay. All right. So, what will be the final thing that you would say happens to that dog? Read me the sentence.
The dog got off the van and ran.
Very, the dog got off the van and ran. Okay, so our sequence is important so that the reader can understand what is happening. Okay, if you have these stories, if you had these sentences and they were in a different order, it can completely change the meaning of the story. So when we read, we look at sequence and we look at meanings of words. Okay, pause that for me.